Namaskaram students. Yesterday we have seen business entity concept, money measurement concept, going concern concept. Let us recall business entity concept. Business is different from the owner. If he purchase, for example, I told you, whatever he purchase assets means that asset should not include in the business balance sheet. So that is different. Whatever we have to write the accounts in a business point of view only, not the owner's point of view. Even though a proprietor is giving the capital, the proprietor is considered as a creditor for his business. He is giving credit to his business. Then money measurement concept. Whatever it may be here, there is a we should not take the politics of the there is a misunderstanding between the production manager and the sales manager, and also whatever the PF, whether the employees are retiring on these, and also another situation, how much computer we have, how much machinery we have. We don't want to take the inventory, that is we must write all the transaction only through the monetary terms, money terms only. So that we can already have discussed. Next one is going concern concept. Going concern means whether we are running a business, we are starting a business, that business we are going to do for 10 years or 20 years. We can see the foreseeable in future. For that reason only we are giving the goods to the credit, and also we are getting lot of credit items. We are purchasing in credit, and also we are selling our goods in credit. For what reason? We believe that we are going to run the business for a long run. Then next one is cost concept. Cost concept means what? Here we will purchase the asset, isn't it? We will purchase the asset. For example, you can take 5 lakhs rupees of assets we are purchasing. One machinery you are purchasing. After that, take for example, you are purchasing a land. Land you are purchasing for 5 lakhs rupees. After 1 or 2 years, the cost of the land will be more. It may be, depending upon the market condition, there may be 10 lakhs. So, if there is any increase or decrease, we should not take into the account. We have to calculate only the cost price. Cost acquisition cost means what? Which price we bought the asset. The purchasing price. When we purchase the goods or assets, we will give some money. That price is called cost price. So that is called cost concept. Next come to dual aspect concept. Dual aspect means what? Dual. What is the meaning of dual role? You have seen in all these more cinemas. So here we can say in its transaction, you are going to purchase a machinery, rupees 1 lakh rupees. What is going outside? We are going to give cash. Cash is going outside. What is going to come inside? Machinery is going to come inside. So how many transactions are happening? 2 transactions are happening. So every debit there is an equal and corresponding credit. So this concept, through this year you are going to learn through this concept. So be thorough with this concept. Next one is periodicity concept. See, we are keep on preparing the accounts, we are writing all the accounts, isn't it? So in one particular period, already we have seen the internal members, external members. Why we have to interpret all the accounts to the internal or external members? For that reason, at a particular period, we ourselves as a owner, we must know them whether our concern is running in a profit or in a loss. For that reason, at a particular period, we are going to analyze our concern. For which particular period? For example, you can take 12 months. Depending upon their concern, that periodicity they can take financial year or calendar year. Financial year means, already I have told you, 1st April to 31st March. Calendar year I have told you, 1st Jan to January to 31st December. So, this particular period, what are all this concept is deal with preparing accounts for a particular period. We are doing the business, isn't it? At a particular period, we must know whether our concern is running in a profit or loss. So, we are in a position to answer to the external users such as creditors, employees, and all we have to, suppose it is a joint stock company, we are going to publish our balance sheet to the public. So, we have to select 1 year of performance. That 1 year, whether it may be a financial year or it may be a calendar year, financial year 1st April to 31st March, it is very basic, girls. You are going to deal with these years in the final accounts. We will revisit all these chapters when you must, this is a base for all the chapters. So you should listen carefully. Calendar year 1st January to 31st December. Then come to matching concept. Matching concept means whatever this year I have told you, this particular year, whatever the expenses incurred, that it should be matched with revenue. Revenue and expenses should be equal. That is in that particular year. So that is called matching concept. So in this concept, whatever the income and it is matched with the expenses incurred, it is a particular financial year. That is called matching concept. About this concept, we are going to deal in the adjustment chapter. Final accounts adjustment, we will deal with this. Next one is realization concept. When this realization will come? The realization when the ownership will pass on to you. See. Realization concept. In this realization concept, you can see, I will tell you an example. 1st August, you are going to purchase a fridge. 1st August, you are going to purchase the fridge. You are placing the order for a Samsung company. Unfortunately, in that shop, there was no stock. So you are going to place the order. What they will do during 5th August. 5th August, they have placed the order in that color. In their when we are going to pay the money on 5th August. On 5th August, we are going to deliver the goods and we are going to pay the money to the shop owner. So, when the ownership pass on, when the fridge, he is the owner of the fridge, when the ownership of the goods pass on, that is called the realization concept. Like the same way I have said the goods, if suppose there is a cash transaction, when he receives the cash, that is the realization concept. Then come to objective evidence concept. Objective evidence means what? Whatever we are, suppose if accountant want to go to audit office, he is going by a rickshaw, auto, ₹100 auto fare. So, whether he is going to the audit office by auto or not, whether it is proof or not. For that reason, he must give the voucher. So that is called, see here, Objective evidence, this concept is deal with whatever expenses incurred. We need the evidence. Through this evidence alone, we are going to, next chapter we are going to see prime entry. Through the evidence, we are going to make it as a transaction. Through this evidence, if we incur any expenses, immediately we have to enter in the voucher for the particular expenses incurred. So for example, office clerk is going to the auditor office to submit the accounts. The accountant has gone to the auditor office by auto. He is going to incur some expenses. After that, he is going to claim from the owner. For that, he must give the evidence as voucher. That is called objective evidence concept. Whatever expenses has incurred, for that expenses, he must give the authentic evidence to the concerned person. Those who are, we are claiming the rupees, no, that person, we are going to give the authentic evidence. That is called objective evidence concept. Without evidence, we can't write this in a transaction. It is impossible. For all the accounts, all the transaction, it has evidence. Then next one is accrual concept. Accrual concept already we have seen. Example I will tell. Now we are going to learn accrual concept. Accrual concept or other name we call it as a mercantile system. Let us recall. We have studied a cash basis and a mercantile basis. We have studied in the previous class. Cash basis and also mercantile accrual basis. Accrual basis of accounting and cash basis of accounting we have seen, isn't it? So, cash basis means what is the meaning? Whenever the transactions was happen, immediately we will receive the cash. Or else when we are receiving the cash, that time we will include account the transactions. We can write the amount in our book. Accrual basis means what is the meaning? It is different from cash basis. We have to know that when you recognize, accrual basis means when you recognize means what is the meaning? Recognize means to record. To record, when recognize the revenue. Revenue means already you know, I have explained to you, that is income. Revenue when they earned. As soon as and you have to, and also when you recognize the revenue, when they earned, and when you have to record the expenses. You have to record the expenses or recognize the expenses. Recognize the expenses when you have incurred. Expenses when you have incurred. So, in this transaction, see, you should not wait for the realization of cash. So, I will tell you an example also. For example, we can take for revenue point of view. Revenue point of view we can take, for example, credit sales. Credit sales, we are giving the goods in the credit sales. For example, August 20. In the accrual basis of accounting, we will enter into the transaction when as soon as the credit sales was happened, immediately we will enter into in our book, that is sales, credit sales rupees 50,000 rupees. So in case of accrual based transaction, those methods, two methods they are maintained, cash basis and accrual basis. With most of the company are adopting accrual basis only. So how we will enter in the August 20 itself. Whereas the person will tell they will give the money, credit sales rupees 5 lakhs on August 20. They will give the money, the person going to give the money on August 25, we can take for example. Those who are following the accrual basis accounting, they will enter in their account as soon as the revenue was earned immediately. In the August 20 itself, they will enter into their book, that is credit sales rupees 5 lakhs in their trading account credit side. So that is called, when you recognize, when you have to record the revenue when you have earned. When we have done the credit sales August 20. So as soon as the revenue earned, we should not wait for the realization of the cash. Immediately we have entered the amount. This is for revenue point of view. Those who are maintaining the cash basis, when what they will do, they will enter this credit sales only when the cash payment given. August 25th only they will enter into their book. Then come to P purchases rupees 5,000 worth of goods. So this is the expenses point of view. So income I have told now, when you recognize the revenue when they earned. I have earned, even though it is a credit sale, I have entered in my book August 20 itself. So expenses. In the expenses means April, for example, August 24. I have purchased the worth of rupees 5,000 rupees of goods. But I agreed to pay, but she agrees to pay. She agrees to pay the amount on September 3rd. So, the concern, those who are maintaining the accrual basis of accounting. Accrual basis of accounting, what they will do, the expenses, when they incurred the expenses, August 24 itself they have incurred the expenses, isn't it? So, you have record the expenses when you have incurred. This is the expenses. When I will enter August 24th itself, in my profit and loss account debit side, I will write 2 purchases, 5,000 rupees. So, this is the concept. Concept tells that when you have recognized the revenue when they earned, as soon as you earned the revenue, transactions was over, credit sales, even though it is a credit sales, you have to record as if you don't want to wait for the realization of cash. And then you have recognized the expenses also when you have incurred. That is also, even though it is he is going to pay the amount only on September 3rd, but what I have given, purchases, August 24th itself, I have entered in my account. So, those who are following the accrual basis of accounting, whenever the expenses are incurred, on that same date itself, we will enter in our book. That is called accrual basis of accounting. Are you clear? Thank you, girls. Next convention we can learn. The conventions. Conventions means what? Practices. Already I have told you usage, practice. convention of conservatism. What is meant by that? We have to anticipate. See, you should forecast whatever the loss and expenses will incur in future. You should we have to provide the provisions for the losses and expenses right now. Now itself we should provide the provisions for the expenses and losses. That only it says provide for all possible losses but not for possible gain. If the gain comes, we can include. So that is called convention of conservatism. We should forecast. Before itself we have to, if you provide provision means we are allotting the expenses. It may come in future. All these things we will revisit in the adjustment final accounts chapter. Then convention of consistency. For example, we can take consistency means we have to follow the same method. If we are calculating the depreciation, in this depreciation chapter also we will be seeing in the next 8th chapter. We are calculating the depreciation and there is a lot many methods are there. That is straight line method and return down value method and also depletion method, annuity method, lot of methods are there. See which method is following in 1 year, first year, that method alone we have to follow over the period of the year. That is called convention of consistency. Like the same way depreciation also, and also while we are valuating the stock, we are taking the inventory. At the time also, there are two methods, LIFO method and FIFO method. What method we are using, that method alone we have to use over the period of year. Why we should not change the method? The profit may affect, the profit may vary. That is the only reason. Then convention of full disclosure. Full disclosure means what? We should not hide anything. We have to show, disclose all the transactions. We should not never hide anything. And also, we should not generate any black money. See, for many companies, they will have the money in the general reserve. So, we should not generate any black money, unrecorded money, unreported transactions are considered as a black money. Never we should ignore this kind of transaction. These are all the conventions of full disclosure. We have to disclose all the transactions truly. We should not hide any transactions. The next one is convention of materiality. Convention of materiality means what? Whatever the important thing alone, we have to enter. The remaining we have to ignore. Whatever important to the money business point of view, that alone we can enter. The remaining things we can ignore. That is called convention of materiality. So these are all the concepts and these are all the conventions we have seen. So you can go through this one, can learn all the each and every concept thoroughly. This is a basic foundation for you. Unless and until if you can't understand this one, if you understand this one, it is easy for you to do the further chapters. Thank you, girls.